beyond the obvious impact on the standings, what kind of effect or impact did the Tulane game have on this team and its psyche going forward?
Well, it's hard to say. You know, I think our questions will be answered Thursday night when we play Houston. You know, that's one of the unfortunate things about college sports is at the end of the day, somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. You just hope that you're on that winning end more than you are on that other end.
What was the message like after the game, either from you and the rest of the coaches or even some of the veteran players? Was there a different feeling in the locker room or on the flight home?
Well, I think the kids and the coaches were very disappointed. Everybody was pretty quiet, and I think the message was we've got to learn from this and we've got to move on. I mean, the thing that's fortunate is we've got a short week and we'll turn around and get ready for Houston. And like I always said in football, things can happen on any given day, and it happens all across the country. So it's mainly a point of we got to get over it and move on.
I was going to say, you've got this short week, and you're playing an offense that's very prolific and has put up a lot of points in past years and again in recent weeks after a little bit of a slow start. Considering the offense you're playing, is it still possible that a short week is a good thing for you and your team?
Well, I think so. You know, one of the things about the Houston offense is we're pretty well wired for that defensively, and we've always played extremely well against them, even though we haven't beat them since I've been here. But the kids understand that offense. It's not going to be a lot of different adjustments for us. So we're pretty well wired defensively to play that.
What is the key to regrouping from a loss when you've got such a short week to turn around?
Well, I think the key is your character and your leadership. It's like anything you do in life. Sometimes you're going to get knocked down. That's how you pick yourself back up. You gotta turn the page and you got to move forward. I mean, it happens in everything you do, and this is just one of those lessons. And that's the unique thing about college football is there's a lot of carryover into what you do in life. So you know, it's a short week. Hey, let's get over it. Let's turn it up and let's go play Houston.
You mentioned you haven't beaten Houston yet. Does that add an extra layer of urgency to this game for you, or is simply the fact that they're the next opponent and it's a conference game all the intensity and urgency you're going to need?
Well, I think it adds a little bit extra. I mean, that's one of the things I keep talking to the kids about, breaking down hurdles. I mean, we had one out in El Paso and we got there and we knocked that hurdle down, and you know, just try to keep establishing first in the program, and then win over Houston, be our first since I've been here. And so, yeah, I put a little more emphasis on it.
Case Keenum was the quarterback at Houston seemingly forever and sort of the face of that program. When he left, he said that his replacement, Pylan, was going to break all his records. Other than the obvious experience, what are the biggest differences between Keenum and Pylan?
Well, it seemed like Keenum was there forever. I mean, I don't know, what was he there, 15 years, something like that? He was like an NFL quarterback. But this kid's still growing in that offense, I think. You know, he started against us 2 years ago, and he's a very efficient quarterback. I don't think he's Keenan, but you know, he's growing every week, and he's getting more comfortable with what he's doing, and he's going to be a handful for us. But you know, in this conference, you see a lot of good quarterbacks, so that's just the way it is.
On this short week, you've got 2 fewer days to prepare, you and the Houston coaches preparing for each other. How much do game plans get shortened or tightened up when you have a shorter week like this?
Well, I think this is something you prepare for year-round, because in this conference and what you're seeing in college football, you're going to see that spread offense, you know, in the majority of the games during the year. And this started back in double days preparing for the spread, so it's really not a big deal. Our kids, they understand what they're going to see. We've got the calls already in place. I mean, it's nothing new to us, so it's really not that big a turnaround for us.
Given the fact that by definition defenses have to react to what offenses do and figure out a way to stop it, are the defensive coaches, both you and the Houston defensive coaches, at a disadvantage going into a short week like this with such a short amount of time to prepare?
Well, I think so. You know, defense is all reaction football, and you don't know what kind of little wrinkles they'll put in offensively or what they've been working on to save for the next game. It's a game of adjustments. You got to adjust to what they come out with in their opening plays, and you adjust and then see if they adjust, and we'll see something different. You know, and that's part of it. It's basketball on grass now. There's really not a lot of true college football anymore.
What's your biggest concern about the Houston offense going in?
Well, I think the thing we got to do is we got to, like I've always said, is we got to control the run game. They run the ball very well, and eliminate big plays. That's one of the things that I think they do. They're very explosive, and you can't give up 4 or 5 20-plus yard plays, and that's what hurt us last week. We gave up too many big plays. So, you know, my concern is let's not let it get away from us. We got to keep the score down, and we got to stop the run game first.
Coach Jones was saying that the biggest differences between last year's Houston team and this year's Houston team are on their defense. So considering the fact that you know their offensive scheme pretty well, you're familiar with their personnel, will Jason Phillips be in your office at all this week, giving you any insight on their players, or are you so well schemed that you know what you're going to do anyway?
No, he's going to give me a lot of insight on what they do. I mean, he knows these kids, and you know the biggest thing you look for is character of kids. You know, whether the kid has a lot of confidence or what kind of speed this kid got. He's got a lot of insight into this club, and I think that helps us.